flag is up, and it's good.
You're listening to The Extra Point, hosted by Phil Ruskin. Welcome.
What up? Welcome to another episode of The Extra Point. It's your boy, Phil Ruskin, your host as always. Got my guy, Mike, with me. What up, dude?
What's up, brother?
You know, chilling. I think we're going to do a different kind of show tonight. It's a live stream, which we haven't done in a while. Honestly, if people show up and want to ask some Q&A, that's great. If not, this is my kind of like Mike and I's office hours tonight. So we're just going to go through a live 10-team draft. It's going to be 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, double flex, 6 bench, half PPR scoring, 6-point passing. So that's the format. Those are the settings. And then obviously as we go through this, it's just the two of us and then the auto computer draft. So we'll pause it a lot and talk through some pivot points. I think that's what Kendall and I have been talking a lot about, dude, is just like, if you start RB, how early can you take a tight end? Because I think this year, of any of the years, there really are 4 players that we see a path for, right? There's 4 guys that I think could be the overall tight end one, right? Consensus ranking is it's Bowers. Then you've got McBride, and that to me is a tier. And then you have Loveland and Warren, and to me that's a tier. But I think if you start RB, you have to think about what you're giving up in order to build that way. If you start, 1 and 1, then it's a very interesting conversation, I think, about when do you take a tight end. Do you feel strongly about, I'm just going to talk to you like it's our show. So it's like, do you feel strongly do you have to leave the draft with one of these 4 tight ends? I know we've got a couple weeks till you're actually drafting, but
realistic.
Sorry, really quick. You just showed me a keeper league that we were talking about backstage where you're keeping Loveland in the 13th round. So the answer to that question for that league is you've already got one
100%,
and you've got him for free. So I want you to think about it in the context of the draft you and I are going to do, not your keeper league. Perfectly, you just get signed the 108. I've got the 104. I want you to think about that tonight of what's your team build going to look like if you draft one of the top guys or if you don't. And I think one of us should, just so that we have 2 different builds to talk about. So
100%.
I'm probably, let's do it and let's see how that plays out. I know we've got some folks joining the show. Welcome. Jump in, guys, girls, whoever's in there listening, ask some Q&A. Mike's going to put the board up. And again, we're going to jump in here and do a 10-team, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 3 receiver, 1 tight end, double flex, 6 bench, half PPR redraft. So Mike, are you on mute? You're not your mic. No. Your board.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Sound.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. That's awful. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So here we go. Ready? 3, 2, ready, go. Everyone's a winner. All right. I chose the 104 for a very specific reason.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Start off weird.
So I'm going to change this really quickly because I want to have a conversation about this player. So give me a second, because this is how I think most drafts are going to go. I think this is pretty set. It's fine if he goes 3, but you and I both know that Jamar Chase, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Bijan are going to go off the board first.
Realistically, yeah.
So let's move on. Okay. So I'm at the 104, and the reason I chose this is because this is where I've been workshopping different sections of the draft. Ultimately, right now, I think if you are in the 1, 2, 3, your first round pick is locked. And then you have to decide what you want to build, because you're obviously starting with one of the 2 big running backs, or you're forced to start with, sorry, I should say forced, but you're starting with Jamar Chase. But now hey, 4 through 7 could go a lot of different ways. I think that's where the most movement is going to be in the first round. And I think 8 through 12, I know this is a 10-team, but we'll just use it in so we can get into even thirds. But I think 8 through 12 is where I'm really looking at workshopping starting RB, because there's just that pocket. Right. There's that. And you and I were just talking
100%.
about, there's that pocket right there of okay, if you're on the turn and you want to start that way and then not have to worry about it for 4, 5, 6 rounds, potentially, I think that's a really interesting build. I wanted to start at the 104 because in my mind, I trust, I know it's hard to trust Christian McCaffrey, but if you're looking at who's got the highest ceiling, you're looking at Puka at the 104. You're looking at Christian McCaffrey if you want to start with running back. And I think those are really the only two players, unless you believe that JSN is going to repeat some modicum of that success. I don't. I think he's a regression candidate. I think he's going to have a great season. I really do. But for a first round pick, I think he regresses. So talk to me about which way, if this was you. I know what I want to do to just test out this build and see what I feel about my team.
Mhm.
But I'm curious what you would do here at the 104 with Puka, JSN, and CMC.
So first, Frozen Gaming, I see it. Don't worry, we'll get to you in 2 seconds once we get through this. Two, right now I'm thinking of two guys, well, 3 guys, and I'm thinking of the top 3 that we have in ADP, and that's usually Puka, Taylor, and Christian McCaffrey. I prefer going a little bit more running back heavy in most situations. It's just how I like my builds to go. But it's hard for me to be able to go Christian McCaffrey at this point. If he made it to me at 8, I'm taking him. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
But I'm at this spot, I don't feel as comfortable with it. I like Puka Nacua. Of course, he's going to probably have the 1-game suspension. That's already been talked about. He's probably not going to be at the first game. So I'm not even factoring that in because honestly, it's minuscule. It's not even going to matter if it's 1 game. So I think, to me, I feel more comfortable with Puka Nacua here in most situations. Jonathan Taylor, I do think Indy kind of takes a step back. He is their only guy. That's the only thing that I'm really, I'd be okay with is they don't have a running back behind him. They pretty much give him 60% of the offensive snaps, or just 60% of the freaking offense. And it's kind of hard not to put your chips in on him. But Puka has just been so reliable with Stafford and the way that Sean McVay schemes everything for him, and he's just always on the field one way or another. But he is one of those people that freaks me the fuck out because
I get it.
Every fucking play, man. Every play, it's like, and then he's back out after. So
all right. Well, I have a different take. Let's get to Frozen Gaming's question, and then I want to give a different side of the coin talking about builds. Frozen Gaming 6701, what up? Appreciate you being here. Rasta's in here as well. What up, my guy? Haven't seen you in a minute. Let's feel free to jump in. I know he'll have tons of questions. He's probably gonna be like, oh, Phil, we agree. Frozen Gaming 6701. I'm in a half PPR, Mike. Half PPR, 12 team, keep 2.
Yep.
I have Jamar Chase and Rice as keepers. I have back-to-back picks. Best available is AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Jeremiah Love, and Drake London. Which 2? Are those the only best available? Because that means if Chase Brown and Jeremiah Love are on the board, that should mean and signal a pretty big tier break.
Yeah.
I wonder because Jeremiah Love's in that like Breece Hall, Derrick Henry. He's going in the 3rd right now. So I feel like maybe there could be some better options. Maybe these are, I don't know. I'm just curious. And like, what round did you get to keep Jamar Chase and Rashee Rice in? Those are important pieces of information. Frozen Gaming, if you're here, man,
let us know a little more.
Yeah, give us some more. I mean, we'll still answer this. So let's just say it's
3
these
wide
4,
receiver. Let us know if it's 3 wide receiver or 2 wide receiver. Because to be quite honest, I mean, you already
that does impact the answer.
It does.
Actually, it does. Yeah.
But at the same time, you're already stacked at wide receiver for the most part. I might go with more like Chase Brown and Jeremiah Love. I actually don't feel comfortable with those 2. I prefer probably another running back option comparatively. If it's just those 4 and you're happy with those, I'd probably go with a guy like Chase Brown and Drake London. That's just me. And then you have a pretty solidified fucking wide receiver room, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I do think though it's interesting because he said these are the best available. It is a keeper league, so I'm going to assume because
I'm going to assume
your keeper league that the top. Well, I'm saying it is a keeper. He told us it's a keeper.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm saying
what I mean.
In a keeper.
I'm
assuming that the top 4 tight ends are gone.
Yeah,
because he would have listed them amongst the best players here, and this is what we're talking about.
Going
in this
to
draft.
the 3rd.
Yeah. So all right. So I would take AJ Brown and Chase Brown personally. I think it's just better. I think it's just better. I think it's just better quarterback play. I love Drake London. It's hard for me to trust Tua and Penix when I know I've got a relatively safe floor every week from Drake May, and obviously AJ Brown is his guy. So, and I would take Chase Brown because it's the pass catching.
Yeah,
so I don't love having both Bengals on the same team, but like the weeks that T Higgins fails, that means both Chase's first and last name are gonna be great. So
yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, Drake London and AJ Brown are in the same. They're like 1B, 1A for me. Like they're right next to each other in my rankings and stuff. So for me, I probably would go AJ Brown. You probably talked me into it. But I'm pretty
Look at
happy with that.
Rustin,
Yeah.
me on that
Same
that
thought
wavelength.
process.
We're always the same wavelength. All right, so here, let me come back to the board because we're only in the first round, but this is
Sure.
workshop hours. This isn't really like a show. We're just hanging. Here's what I would do. I would actually very seriously consider taking CMC here over Puka and JT for two reasons. Number one, I think he does have the highest ceiling when healthy. Puka can be the wide receiver one.
When healthy, and remember that.
Puka could go drive a car through downtown LA tomorrow and get it.
He already ran through. He already ran into a glass window.
I mean, exactly. So like everybody has their risk, right?
Yeah.
But I do think the point I'm making about CMC is it is too early for James Cook. It's probably too early, just a pick or two too early for JSN and Amon-Ra. So I do think it's this Nakua, Taylor, McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I think Taylor might. I think you're not going to like your running back room.
Yeah.
If you take Puka, because at the end of the day,
true.
We talked about it, that pocket, and this is a 10 team. So let's talk about it in the context of 12. That pocket is the 108 to the 112, and then the 201 to the 204.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but I do think I want to move on because we got a long draft. But I do think it's really interesting if you start RB here. Does it take, and this is what I'm going to do this because I want to test this theory. Does it take McBride or Bowers in the third, potentially the second, like off your board? Does it take Loveland off your board in the third? Because then it's like, well, I don't have a wide receiver one. So I'm going to test this here and let's just see how it goes.
Okay. So Frozen got back to us. He says it's 1 QB, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 tight end, 2 flex. But yes, those are my best available. After Love, next RB is Kyron, Henderson, Monty.
No.
So yeah, that's pretty gross. Yeah. Well, not gross, but I love all. I actually like all.
Well, but that's hard.
No. So I mean, I would probably stick with AJ Brown and Chase.
Yeah.
You get a really solid flex option and then a serviceable RB2. I don't like Chase Brown as my RB1, but I don't hate him in general to have at that point if he's the best running back available, I don't hate that.
Yeah, agreed. I'm still in on AJ Brown and Chase Brown, and I'm moving on.
Okay,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm sticking.
All right, you are here on the clock. It's the 108.
I already know my pick.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't even
knock it out.
I don't even have to do it.
Go ahead and put James Cook on the draft board there, and let's move on. JSN, CD Lamb, Jadon T, and Achan coming.
See, back. I love this. And I like this so much better.
So I'm going to pause because I know who you're going to take here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. It's pretty obvious.
My
question to you, because Kendall and I have been talking about this.
Yeah.
Are you worried at all about Mike McDaniel's talk about the hot hand and it's a 3-down system and, siphoning away some passing work? Or do you think Hampton is truly going to be a 3-down back and they'll make special plays or they'll put in certain packages that will suit Vidal? And someone who's the third? My brain just went completely blank. Who's the third running back
Keaton
there?
Mitchell.
Thank you. Sorry, Keaton. I forgot he came over. Keaton Mitchell. Or are you just because I know who you're going to pick. You're going to pick Hampton here. Are you just going to smash this and move on, or are you going to at least look at Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker here, maybe Drake London, Justin Jefferson's on the board? Would you at least look? Bowers is on the board if you really want to lock down tight end. He's basically a receiver. In this scenario, he'd be wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd be wide receiver 6.
So yeah.
He'd be wide receiver 6.
So no, I'd like him at.
Okay.
I like him more at wide receiver 8, or lower.
Powers. Yeah. Okay. All right. So smash Hampton and let's move on.
Yeah, I just like Hampton. Honestly, for the Chargers this year, I'm pretty happy with what they're going to do. Their offensive line is built for what they're going to do, and that's going to be run the ball and be able to pass it when necessary. They have a good group of wide receivers that are able to run block. They have good tight ends that can pass catch and run block. They're just going to be a very versatile offense. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell's going to be involved. I don't like saying it. I don't like it. It hurts, but he will be involved.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think Vidal as much. I think Vidal is somebody that is going to spell Hampton every so often, and it's going to be one of those like 70-20-10 type situations or 60, 25, 25. I don't know. Whatever they're going to, however the numbers work out. It's going to
That's
be
110. So that math didn't
shut up.
math.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like,
I hear
I
you.
see
60 and then whatever's left over of the pie. Yeah.
correct. And, they'll figure out what they're going to do with them on third down situations and so on. But he's going to be the main 1-2, 1-2 and touchdown guy. I know he won't be in on third down that often. I know that they're going to probably use Keaton Mitchell a little more because he's a lot better of a pass catcher than Hampton, but Hampton can, he's a decent patch.
I think what Hampton will get though is going to be like check downs when there's a blitz on and the cover two and all the deep threats are gone. So, but I think it's going to be more designed package work for Mitchell and Vidal. I think 100% packages for Vidal, just like it's just going to be like the tight ends. And Njoku and Kolar are going to have certain packages.
I mean, if you really,
Gadsden will be in there as well.
And if you remember what happened in Miami,
we can keep the conversation going, but take Hampton so we can keep the draft moving. No, you're
good. So, I mean, if you remember in Miami, I mean, even with a guy like, with HN and the group that they had with like Mostert and all them, they rotated everybody in at one point, but who was the main guy? HN. Like, it's I'm not too stressed about it. It is what it is. I'm happier with him than I am with a guy like Chase Brown, Walker, or Henry. And I like, or even Barkley. I understand Barkley's on a very good team. Understand his line's good. Okay, great. He's just been falling down. Like his stats have just been going on a downcline. I'm just not there.
This is mostly a dynasty show. In a dynasty show, he's an expiring asset. But if you're win now, if you're win now, you got to have him on your roster.
I've been watching it the last
You'd be a lot happier if he was on your roster.
He hit his ceiling 2 years ago, and he's still a great back. But the problem is that he's never going to hit that again. I'm sorry.
I want to talk about Ruben's question here for a second because there's some guys here that we are going to get to, including some that have already gone. Can you rate my team? I'm in a 10-man PPR league. 1 QB, I assume.
Yeah, that's my
okay. So quarterback is Jalen Hurts. Fine.
Got it.
Great. Yeah. Your running backs are Genty, Cook, Corum, and Harvey. All right.
Like it.
Three is better than 4, but you can drop. We'll figure out what Harvey looks like. Wide receiver is Olave, Smith, Jamo, Coker, Hunter, Pittman, Tyson, Watson. Wow, that's a big tight end room. I would maybe add a running back.
No, that's a wide receiver room, and it's good.
No, it's Olave, a good wide receiver room.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got a lot of guys that I think you might be able to upgrade Harvey in your running back room because it's a little thinner. Tight ends Ferguson, defense Bronco, and then kicker is Little. I don't know who that is. Chad.
Yeah, I know who Cam Little is.
I think I'll do this in the ceiling context of ceiling, Mike.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has top 5 upside, but he also can fall outside the top 10. I think his floor is probably wide receiver QB 10 to 14.
Yeah.
If he misses time, if their offense sucks, I think this ceiling is 5. I can't get him higher than 5, but
I have him at 8.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have him at 5. I'm saying I think his
no, I understand. 5. No, I understand. For me, the way I do my rankings is how I think they're going to end at the end of the year.
Genty and Cook has a lot of ceiling. There should be touchdowns there. Corum's a great backup. Olave, I mean, look, Jordan Tyson's going to miss time.
Yeah.
This hamstring thing's going to be a problem. So I think Olave could have that first 4 weeks. You might want to then consider if you sell him or not. Potentially, but I think it's a good group. So,
or if he's on IR, throw him out.
I think this is. I think you might need a couple things to break your way to win the league, but I think if you can get some ceiling, especially I'm assuming Smith is Devonta Smith and Jameson Williams.
Correct.
Olave that's a great 3.
Yeah, and I like Coker in there too.
It's a good flex. You'll upgrade Hunter at some point.
You don't
know what he is. Pittman could be an interesting flex. So, all right, let's get back to this draft.
Well,
so
I like this team. It's
good.
It's a solid team. It's probably on the bubble for me, but it's right there.
So I'm on the clock again. I'm here in the second. I started with McCaffrey because, again, we talked about some of these players in the pocket. And the pocket, this is a 10 team. This would not be the case if it was 12. 2 more, I would assume, running backs would be off the board. They don't happen to be in this league. But the running backs that are on the board are Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry. Then you've got A.J. Brown. And then there's, in my mind, a big tier drop. True. At receiver. He's the end of that tier. And then, of course, you've got Bowers, McBride. So this is why I said, like, if you started with Puka, are you comfortable with Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry as your RB1? Because I think you have to take one of those guys here. I think that's what the pocket says. If you start with McCaffrey, I want to take AJ Brown here. That's what I'm going to do because I think there's a chance one of these running backs gets back to me. And if they don't, then I like some pivot options because it's start 3 wide receivers. And if the running backs go, maybe that gives me a shot at Bowers McBride. So let me see what this looks like here, Mike, with AJ Brown. Kenneth Walker goes, Chase Brown goes, Nico goes, Derrick Henry.
they're all
the
gonna
running
go.
backs are gone. Yep, Kyron and Trey McBride. So let's take Trey
yeah.
McBride off the board here. And let's put Brock Bowers there. Sure, it could happen, but let's just, for the sake of conversation, since we both have him unanimous. All right, so Bowers is off the board. So I'm looking at Josh Allen. I'm not doing that. It's just too early. It's just too expensive.
Yeah,
it's just
it's
not
too
how I
early.
want to build. You know, we just did a do not draft show. Josh Allen, of course, was not on it. But like, I don't want Jaden Daniels. I don't know if he can be the QB. Like some of these mid-round quarterbacks are going to go. I'm going to try to just go grab Dak and Goff late. Because if you look at where I've done a ton of mocks, obviously, when you get to these middle rounds, Mike, this is where I love the wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many more of them. So I chose to go AJ Brown because I knew all those running backs would go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm forced to take Jeremiah Love here, which I'm not excited about. I don't have him ahead of McBride. I don't have him ahead of George Pickens.
So I kind of want to I want to talk about Ross's question. So
okay.
How far do you think that Love is going to fall with the high ankle sprain? Why did they give him so much work in the preseason game? Show the the dysfunction in Arizona. For 4 weeks for the high ankle sprain. If he got it the other night, which if he did, the 14th. So it would be he'd be just past the week 2. So he'd be coming back after week 2. If it's that bad. If it's that, then he lose only 2 weeks. I don't think they were going to even start him on a full, 50-50 workload until midway through the season. I don't like Love this year in the top, like in the first 3 rounds. I'd prefer him in the 4th. And yeah, agreed. Everything lingers. And they don't.
I think the question is how early are you going to draft Tyler Algier for the first month of the season? Because I think Tyler Algier is going to get a lot of work that first month,
and he's going to go in like the 13th, 15th, like 14th round. I'd rather have him.
I think he drops to potentially the 5th. If it's going to miss 2 weeks, he'll drop to the 4th. He'll drop to the 4th, but let's just say the floor is 5. So I think it'll probably be 4-2, but like mid to late, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to take him here if he was fully healthy anyway.
No.
I'm going to
take Hall.
Yeah, I would too. I'm going to take George Pickens here because I just think the ceiling is higher than all these other wide receivers. And now I've got pretty high ceiling with McCaffrey.
Even Brown, more than Olave and Neighbors?
I don't know how healthy Neighbors is, which is fine. But like Neighbors, what if it takes a month to ramp up?
So fair enough. What I keep
think
hearing,
Olave will get the work, but I trust Dak with Pickens in that offense more than I trust Tyler Shuck and Chris Olave because there's just more things that can go wrong in New Orleans for Olave, including himself.
No, that's fair. So my 2 cents on those 2 or those 3. Neighbor, being the resident Giants fan here, I hear a lot about what's going on at Giants camp and how he is. He looks great from what I get told by beat writers who are there watching him. He's still not like being fully involved in like 11-on-11s and stuff like that, but he's still being, worked out and still doing his practice, and he's still there. He's not on the pup list. So he's running, doing his thing. And I've seen some of the camp tape. He looks pretty good. So
listen, I'm not saying he's off my board. I'm just saying we're drafting today and it's 3 weeks
fair enough.
out. So
I have to make that decision.
He's in that player pool.
I have to make that decision right now, to be quite honest. Like this is my tier where I have to make that decision because it's either Rice, Olave, or Neighbors that I have to pick from if I'm going wide receiver, or do I look at the tight end board?
I have another name.
Well, I can either go Trey McBride here, which isn't a horrible option, or I can go with QB, and no, don't want to do that. So I like Breece Hall here. I have no problem doing a three-man back system, like a heavy system like this.
My guy gets back to you. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, but then I'd be fucked at wide receiver.
Well, the name I was going to bring up in this position was Devonta Smith.
No.
That's fair if that's not your guy, but I think if you are starting with all 3 RBs, then that hopefully is who gets back to you. Tet McMillan's there, Higgins, Ebuka.
I was going to say, if I do the running back heavy, I at least will have one of those guys. You're right. Tet would probably be the best of those for me. If Rice makes it back, I'd be surprised. So I usually aim for other running backs in this particular in the next. I usually aim for the running backs in the next round.
Yeah.
So
this is
here,
Mike. This is where we talked about in the first 2 rounds while you're deciding what you want to do. In the first 2 rounds, if you're on the turn, it's going to be RB, and that's where the pocket is really hot. And I think that's kind of how you should start. Then we get to rounds 3 and 4 turn. T. Higgins, Emeka Egbuka, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren. That's a great pocket of players at the 3-4 turn that if you start like Team 9 and 10 did behind you, those are some great wide receiver 2s with some outside shots at wide receiver 1 upside. So I'm curious. I almost want you to build your team for this mock with that 3rd running back just to see like, hey, if I did this, what does it look like? And am I happy? So let's build that way. Cause I'm doing some stuff over here that I didn't want to do. We talked about it. I wanted to start RB.
Being at this spot at the 3-8, I like Breece Hall. I also like Javonte Williams, but I think I'm going to go with the better team, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm just going to take Javonte.
Yeah.
I like Javonte.
Yeah, Rice, McBride, Higgins, Neighbors goes.
Oh my God, I do I want to do it?
But I mean, no, you can't. That's chaos because then you're trading for a wide receiver.
So I'm gonna go Chris Olave here. It just makes the most sense.
All right, Breece Hall goes. T-Mac. Tet McMillan's, Cam Scattaboo. So this is where I'm struggling, Mike, because if you start with McCaffrey at the 104, or you start with JT or James Cook, basically if you start RB in the first round and you go RB in the second, look at these, and I'm close enough to the turn. It is very possible. Here's who's on the board. There's running back tier break. That's the end of it. So I'm absolutely going with one of the wide receivers here, or I'm going to try to pull the trigger on Loveland and Warren. With Bowers already picked behind me, I think this is where these 2 guys are going to go. So if you want one, I think you can get one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a receiver here because it is a 3 wide receiver league.
Okay.
I'm also going to try on purpose intentionally, because we talked about it pre-draft, is one of us taking one of these earlier tight ends, and I didn't get Bowers, and then McBride went before I got back to me.
So you're going to have to go Loveland.
Yeah, so I'll go one of the. But I want to see what it looks like, because I want to see if I feel comfortable enough with the hero running back approach, and that's really what this build is. So I'm going to take Devonta Smith, my boy. Although I'll be honest, it is hard for me right now, especially in full PPR, to not look at Garrett Wilson here. Garrett Wilson's a big riser on my board. I like Egbuka and Lad. I don't think I don't think either of those 2 guys is the pick here, with 2 absolute guaranteed ones. I know Egbuka is the one, but there's still a lot of mouths, and what does that offense look like? Whereas Devonta Smith's the one in his offense. Garrett Wilson's a target hog with a bunch of rookies. I think one of them makes it back to me, which is why I want to start RB, because then I can still get 3 great guys here.
100%.
So I'm just going to take Devonta Smith. Lamar Jackson goes, Lad goes, Egbuka, Garrett Wilson, Etienne, Zay Flowers. Perfect. So Colston Loveland got back to me. So I'm going to take him here over Bucky, Travion, Judkins. I really do like David Montgomery. So I think my fallback plan, honestly, if I just panic, would maybe, and I don't want to panic, obviously, but if my preparation says, hey, even though they may not be the best option here, I won't have an RB2, which is why I want to start RB if I can.
Okay.
And then if I can take 3 wide receivers, because I would still be looking at, a Jalen Waddle or somebody like that here. Then my fallback plan is going to be like a Mark Andrews, a Jake Ferguson, just one of those guys, Isaiah Likely with some upside. Like, you just take them late and just say, hey, it's the best punt option I can get. So I'm going to take Loveland here and see what this team looks like with a pretty questionable RB2.
Oh, that's fantastic. So,
hold on. What did you not want to happen? Let's make it harder.
I wanted it to be Junkins to get back to me at the 508.
Oh, and he went. Okay, perfect.
And just go like real crazy heavy RB, and see what it could look like. Because I still have the turn here, and the turn would still give me 3 or 4 wide receivers that I really like in this spot. There's another guy that I really like in this position that I could go with as well. And I kind of want to pull the trigger on it, but I'm going to do it. You know what?
Chaos. Let's see how it looks.
I'm going to be chaos.
Yeah, Monty's great. Henderson,
And you know what?
Burden, Drake May, Jamison Williams, and then you
And
still
look
have
at
an
that.
option to
I get
grab.
2 guys here, and I still have 3. I have 4. I have 5 really great options to go with Scary Terry. I got DJ Moore. I got Adams. I got Evans, and I got Roma Dunze. I can go with any
So
4 of those.
you're not looking
Or,
at Tyler Warren here in the 6th?
well, no. See, that's the next thing. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm
Yeah.
going to just create chaos. I'm
Good.
going to go with Tyler Warren.
Great, because now we have to see what your receivers are going to look like with some
And
real
it's going to look
questionable
gross, but it's
feeling.
going to be okay.
And this is the activity. My running backs are very questionable. See, this is my issue here. If this is a 12-team league, this doesn't happen. And even in a 10-team league, I don't think this happens. So it's DeAndre Swift, who's I would almost be forced to pick.
You have to pick.
But it's like I'd rather have Rome. I'd rather have Carnell Tate. I would
100%.
I don't want to go early quarterback, but Joe Burrow's on the board here in the 6th. I could consider looking into that option, especially if I'd started and taken Chase Brown instead of AJ Brown. I'd have a little mini correlation there. So I'm not committed to this strategy, Mike, of starting RB. But I purposefully did not take a second running back and then took Loveland so that I'd be stuck in this situation because I just want to see what it looks like versus what it could have been. And again, the board could fall differently, but I'm going to take Swift because I have to.
Fair. Well, I was going to say, if you look at the rest of the board and how a couple of these auto teams went, right now there are 2 teams with 4 running backs in the first 7 rounds.
Yeah.
And then all the others either have 3 or 2, and there's only one other one with 1.
There's 3 teams with 4 running backs, team 5, team 2, and yours.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There you go.
So all the running backs are gone. So, I mean, look, there's a huge tier break, but like it's to me, sorry, I just lost the draft on my own board.
Well, do you want Devontae Adams as your wide receiver 1?
No, of course not.
So that's where you have to start thinking about that concept too.
Agreed. I mean, that's too heavy, but that's,
too heavy.
Someone in your league's going to do it. They're just going to hoard.
Someone in your league will do it because I can tell you with firsthand experience of leagues that go like
so I'm
this.
back here. There are no running backs left. I mean, it's Jalen Warren, Chuba who's injured, Ramondre. I mean,
I have one of my favorite guys that you could go with.
Monon guys here, Blake Corum's here, Jonathan Brooks are here. I think all those guys have better.
Oh, you mean ceiling. Lower? Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny Gainwell. Like, I mean,
this is Jalen Warren.
See, I'm not. The Steelers is just not something I want to invest in here. Not in this range. I mean, I know I need a third guy, but honestly, Kenny Gainwell could have close to the production. You know what I mean? It's just chaos. I would take Rome here because I just don't need a quarterback. Right now, it's too early. I know I can get Dak later. I can get Goff later. So I want to just continue to build out some assets here with Rome Odunze.
Okay.
And then Harold Fan and Sam Laporta going off the board. So
see, I love that. I absolutely love that. That helps me out so much. Because
now we're getting into some interesting names though, Mike. So you got to read because I know you're going to take a wide receiver here. I think I have a sense of the guy that you're going to take, but I'm curious to like there's 4 names in here that are worth talking about.
Well, right now it's going to be wide receiver. It has to be. And QB I would like, but I'm not there yet. I have a guy that I like that I think that I can wait another round about. If not another, I could probably wait till the 9th round to be quite honest. It's between Christian Watson, Brian Thomas Jr. and Marvin Harrison Jr. And strangely enough, I love the Jags offense. I love what they're doing. I really like what BTJ could do with this particular group. He's a better quarterback overall. But I think I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. I would have taken the shot on BTJ just myself, but
I understand.
I get there's arguments to be made for lots of different. I mean, So JD5, maybe not JD5. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with him. Jane Daniels, Christian Watson, BTJ, Jordan Tyson. You're back on the clock. You started real hard, Mike. James Cook, Amari Hampton, Javonte Williams, Chris Olave, David Montgomery, Tyler Warren, Marvin Harrison. So 4 running backs, 2 receivers, Tyler Warren. DK Metcalf's on the board, Mekhi Lemon, that hamstring, Cortland Sutton, Michael Wilson, Alec Pierce. That's the kind of tier we're in there. Caleb Williams, Justin Herbert, your guys, a little mini stack correlation with Hampton. What are you looking at this pick here? Because I think this is also getting into. We talked about pockets, right? That running back pocket at the 2-3 turn, that wide receiver pocket at the 3-4 turn. I think now when you get into 8-9, 7, 8, 9, is starting to open up a pretty hot pocket for, yes, and pun included, for quarterbacks. So where are you leaning here?
So so this is where I thought possibly I could wait for Justin Herbert and see if I could wait for him on the 9 and see if he can come back around for me. I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't. I have a feeling, and I don't like anybody in this range other than Cortland Sutton. It's just nobody I like other than maybe Chris Godwin too, but I feel like Godwin has an opportunity to make it back just by looking at the board, and at least 3 or 4 of the teams ahead of me are all wide receiver heavy, and they're going to go running back or QB or something, or tight end. So I'm going to go with my tried and true Justin Herbert.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is the decision here. So I really need a running back really badly. Jaylen Warren made it all the way back to me, Mike, which now might be a little bit better cost. I'm a little bit more interested. A full round.
Yeah.
When we were considering taking him the last pick at the 704, but now 2 rounds away from when I picked Swift. Kyle Monunga, if I just want to own that backfield, obviously it lowers my ceiling weekly. It'll be a huge headache, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, I mean, you own that backfield. If one goes down, the other one is gold.
100%. We were talking about that. Yeah.
I'm just going to take Warren here because, I mean, he is technically the starter, and I'll see what comes back around. But I'm looking pretty hard here at Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, and Dak Prescott as my QB1 in the next round.
Yeah.
Unless there's just really great RB value, and I just don't see how that's going to work out. So take Jalen Warren. We'll see how this goes. Monunga goes right next. Pitts, Pollard, Jalen Hurts, Mekhi Lemon, Rico Dowdle puts me back on the clock. So it would honestly, Corum would be on my list here.
Okay.
But I'm also really, really high on the seasons that I do think Caleb Williams and Dak Prescott could have. I do have George Pickens, so I also have DeAndre Swift and Colston Loveland. So for that reason, I think I'm going to have to go all Bears because I've got 2 stacks. Little correlation, but yeah, let's just say for argument's sake that Caleb was off the board here and not an option. I would take Dak.
That's fair.
So I'm going to go quarterback just like you. Cortland Sutton, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, see.
And then Jackson Dart.
And it makes me happy that I went the way I did. And it shows the QB run that would have happened. He was a little bit farther down in ADP, but he was definitely going to be in this grouping of guys. And I would have lost out on Dart, who would have been my next best, tier. Cortland Sutton going after that too. So that kind of hurt a little bit because I wanted him to fall here. He's a solid wide receiver 3 for any team that you put him on. There's another guy that I really like here too, but I think he can make it back to me. I'm going to go with Chris Godwin.
And you're hoping that Wandale gets to you?
No.
We're not ready for Wandale?
I can wait for Wandale for now.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go and – oh, wait. Yep, I can do it.
Take huge with Justin Herbert?
No, I thought about it. I'm going to go with Jonathan Brooks and solidify my backfield to the point of I pretty much don't have to think about running back for another few. Like, I can wait.
I think you're done with running back probably for the draft. So Blake
for
Corum
now
goes. I desperately needed a running back. Blake Corum would have been the top of my list there, and then I'll take my number 2 guy that I had ranked ahead of Brooks, which is Kenny Gainwell here.
Okay.
Bill Cross-Merritt off the board, Jordan Addison, George Kittle, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Kelce, and I'm back on the clock. Stafford going right before me, which is great. I am just going to pause and look at the receiver position. Jaden Reed, Jacoby Myers, not guys I'm super interested in. Wandale, I would be. Josh Downs, very much interested. Dobbs is here. Golden Higgins, I think we can wait around on that. But I also started with 4 receivers, and I really need to get some depth because my running back ceiling is super high with McCaffrey, but my RB2s, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Kenny Gainwell, it's really thin. And I know these guys won't get back to me, so I'm going to take Tyler Algier because this ankle thing could linger into the season.
It will.
He's going to start for the first month, and I think in the 11th round, that's great value. Be prepared to have to grab Tyler Algier in the 10th if the news gets worse. For
in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
His he's an ADP riser for sure. Candidate for 100%. Riser. Yeah.
So I'm in a great spot. I'm really happy right now. So I have choices between Jacoby Myers, Wandale Robinson, and Josh Downs. These are 3 guys I love having the ability to go with. And I understand that there's a probability that one of the 3 or 2, I know that I have a very low probability of getting 2 of those 3 guys. So I have to really think about which one I want the most. I feel a little bit better about Wan'Dale than I do most. I like the offense that he's coming from. He went with Dable. Dable wanted him to go there. I think Cam Ward is a solid option. I love Josh Downs there, Rasta. I know.
He needs to look better this week. Of course, I'm with Rasta and I want Downs. Alec Pierce is on the pup. Daniel Jones is healthy.
I understand.
Cam Ward looked. I know it's preseason. Cam Ward looked bad.
Yeah.
What did we talk about in preseason, Mike? What am I always looking for?
Daniel Jones look any better? Or did
I don't even know.
He didn't play, but
he didn't play. So, but at the end of it all, it's like I'm looking for the bad news in camp. That's because everyone's a fucking Super Bowl winner. Everyone's the greatest player that's ever played. Everyone's going to the Hall of Fame in preseason when it's highlight reels. But I'm telling you,
what?
bro, like
I'm gonna take Downs just to make you happy, and then I'm gonna see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Maybe you got Mahomes goes, Ferg goes, Rashad White.
Oh my God, look at that!
You're great.
Perfect. Look at that! I got both.
And you move on. Great.
Well, I have 2 choices. I can cause chaos and go with a second tight end, and get a really good tight end. Or
pause. Who's a really good tight end in this range?
Well, we have Likely, Andrews, Goddard, Gatson. I think Likely without.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm saying it, and a lot of people had a lot to say over the weekend about Likely, and they noticed a little something. If you didn't notice, I'm surprised. It was really evident. 1, they really targeted him on 3rd down. Really did a good job on that. 2, he was only in on pass plays. You never saw him on inline blocking. They always had Theo out there and Kohler, or I forgot the other guy's name, but either way, they had somebody else. So Likely is going to mainly be a wide receiver 2, or in this case. So do I want to go with Wan'Dale here? Do I want to go with Jacoby? Do I want to go with Isaiah Likely? Like, those are the 3 I'm going with. And let me just double check something. Nope, perfect. So I'm going to go with Likely here. I'm just going to cause chaos.
Okay. Wan'Dale goes, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy goes. So I don't care that you caused chaos. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I already had a big tight end anyway, so it doesn't super impact me. But Likely and Andrews, I told you at the top of the show, like, they're just my fallback plan. And I think that's where I'm becoming more and more comfortable, because at the end of this draft, I'm going to have taken Loveland in the 5th. You'll have taken Warren in the 6th. Yes, I get the ceiling, and I understand they could potentially. I think there's all 4 of these guys could, quote, break fantasy. And if not, I think they could all have really high scoring seasons. There's just some other wide receivers. Like, I mean, it's going to be hard for me if Garrett Wilson's on the board and Colston Loveland's on the board to not take Garrett Wilson, So
100%.
I just think there's just that 4, 5, 6 round, man, is like, that's that wide receiver pocket. That's a huge wide receiver pocket there. So we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. I'm going to take a receiver here. It's probably around too early. He probably will get it back to me, but
he's not coming back to me.
Let's just see if he comes back to me. So let's play the game. I would take DeJon Stribling here, to be honest. But let's just see if he gets back to me, and we'll see what happens there. Everybody's hurt. I mean, Jacoby Myers still on the board, but I think Jackson's going to be a real headache every week. I know he's probably the higher ceiling player, but there's nobody healthy in San Francisco. Stribling's going to have a role in that offense. Ricky's out for the year. George Kittle's working his way back. McCaffrey's a running back, and they're not going to kill him with catching 8,000. I mean, they're going to give him all that work. They always do. But if everyone's hurt, they're going to have to get someone else in there.
So you like him more than Casey Concepcion?
Concepcion? No, I think Concepcion, but at least I know Brock Purdy's a competent quarterback. I don't know if Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders are competent quarterbacks. Put it this way, I haven't seen it.
No, Sanders
is
not.
I'm gonna take. I'm actually gonna take Romeo Dobbs. No, never mind. I have AJ Brown. I can't do that. All right, I'm gonna take. I'll take Casey Concepcion here. Actually, I'll take Jaden Higgins here, and then we'll see what happens if Stripling gets back.
He will.
I mean, keep in mind this is a computer. It's ADP.
It's never gonna do that.
So Mark Andrews is on the board here, which is crazy. I'm not going to take him. I'm going to take DeJon Stribling, kind of build out this wide receiver and give myself some shots here. But the fact that Andrews is on the board here in this mock in the 13th, you're probably still going to pay the 12th round, and I would even just grab him in the 11th if I needed to secure my tight end.
Yeah, no, that makes
That's
sense.
great value. That's just I think that's the fallback plan, because if you miss out on one of these, if you get sniped, maybe your plan was to take one of the big 4 tight ends and then you get sniped, or like you're in a keeper league and they're not available. I know you have one, but to the other managers that don't have one from a keeper status, it's like
Hmm.
I don't, I don't,
100%.
I don't want to deal with the fan. No, someone put in the chat, I think it was Rasta, like he's drafting a lot of Laporta.
Yeah.
That's fine, but like I don't want Laporta fanning on my team right now. I would take Kraft because he will be the number 1 in that offense, but like that's Detroit, man. If he doesn't get the touchdowns, Rome has a better season. Parker Washington, Christian Watson has a better. No, Christian Watson's always hurt, but there's just better receivers. So, all right, you're back on the clock.
I already know who I want.
Bolden, Andrew Sharps went off the board. What are you doing here?
So there's a lot of options. I'm probably gonna have to go wide receiver just because I'm so thin at it at this point. It's Shakir, Debo, Coker, Shaheed, and or Denzel Boston. If I wanted to go running back, it would be probably Tyrone Tracy, but I'm not going to go running back here. Love Tyrone Tracy in this particular area, to be quite honest. He's the number 2. A lot going on with Cam Scattaboo. You never know what's going to happen with them each week. They are going to be interchangeable. I think it's going to be a 60-40 split in one way or another, even though that Devin Singletary looked so much better than all of them, to be quite honest. He's just slow. He's not as fast as he used to be, and he's just not the same. But I do like Tracy because they're going to involve him in the pass game a lot. They didn't really involve Mooney or Calvin Austin a lot, so I see a route for Tracy to be involved in the passing game too. So I really do like Tracy in this spot, but I need a wide receiver. I'm gonna go with Jalen Coker.
Yeah,
one of my favorite choices in general. Just one of my favorite players to watch right now. Just really happy and hoping that he can, stay healthy and keep this role. This is where I'm going to take another wide receiver. And
yeah. Where are you leaning here?
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go with your teammate, or I was going to go with the guy that you were thinking of going, his teammate. I think I'm going to go with Denzel Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why, I just like Boston's size. I like his ability to get downfield. I just, in this particular case, he's working with 2. We don't know. But Watson is more capable, in my opinion, comparatively to Shador. Shador is not going to be the starter. If you think Shador is going to be the starter, I will bet you $1 at the very least. And just think,
Mike, way to really put a.
I don't care. I got to do a Fenley. I got to do the Fenley. The Family Dollar bet on it, because I am not going to. I just there is no world.
I think Deshaun Watson's the starter. I just don't know for how long. I don't know for how long.
I think unless he's hurt, he's going to be playing the year. Shador is just not there. I don't think he's a competent quarterback in any way, shape, or form. I think people give him way too much credit because of A, B, C, and D. I mean, I follow this guy on Twitter, the guy that posts all this insider information bullshit, and I sit there and I'm like, you are talking up Shador too much. Is this your dad? Is this Dion? Like, it's that bad. Anyway, I like Denzel Boston. I think he has the ability to do well in this offense. They got him for a reason. I just like him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has a good body in terms of like being a contested catch guy. Should be the question is the touchdown value. That's my
100%.
biggest question.
100%.
If the touchdowns aren't there, is he going to finish with 547 and 2? And then it's a waste.
100%. So the guy that I was hoping that got back to me didn't, and that was Keaton Mitchell. I was hoping to pair him with O'Marion Hampton. That would have been nice.
Handcuff action, yeah.
Little handcuff action. Could have got him late. It doesn't matter to me. It's my last round. I would have loved if he made it back. He was on my board for at the 14 too. He was definitely in the options that I was thinking about. Here, I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go with one of the guys that we saw in preseason do really well.
So last pick him. I mean, he was in my potential pool there as well. Brenton Strange and Dylan Sampson.
Braylon Allen had a really good, really good preseason game.
Nice, okay. So I want to talk through these.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I think the purpose of this mock was to obviously workshop some different builds. I've been leaning into and doing a lot of mocks with a 2 RB build in rounds 1 and 2. And seeing what that looks like. So I intentionally didn't do that tonight to just see what my comfort level is. I started with CMC, and then I have DeAndre Swift as my RB2, Jalen Warren as my RB3, with Kenny Gainwell, Tyler Algier, and Isaiah Pacheco.
Mhm.
My wide receiver room is A.J. Brown, George Pickens, Devonta Smith, Rome Odunze with Higgins, Stribling, and Debo. And then I have the onesies. I have the stack with Caleb and Colston Loveland. So
Mhm.
I'm going to pull the big board up now. Sorry, I was highlighting my team on my screen. I didn't realize you didn't highlight my team on the main screen.
I could do that right here. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
Just do it for a second. Yeah, so there's the group real quick. Team 4. All right, let's turn that off. So I'm going to do some stuff.
Okay.
So that's the team. Oh, it won't let me do it because the draft isn't. We replaced Chase Brown with A.J. Brown,
Okay.
but then replace Loveland.
Oh, you're gonna
with-
have to do it. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, it won't let me do it right now because the draft
Oh,
is
we
done.
finished.
Yeah, we finished, so it's not a big deal. But I don't know. I think if you look at this team, can you pull my team up again real quick?
Sure.
If you put Chase Brown in that spot with CMC,
Mhm.
take that off, if you would, and then you don't take Loveland there, but you take, you'd need another receiver because you'd have George Pickens and Devonta Smith. So I guess you could take Loveland there,
Yeah.
but he then basically has to be producing at that level of wide receiver, and I do think he can. I absolutely think he can.
Mhm.
I just like DeAndre Swift as my RB3 if I'm forced to take somebody. And honestly, David Montgomery was on the board when I took Colston Loveland. So like that could have been a player that I would have looked at if I really needed a running back. Had I started this way as well with A.J. Brown, Pickens, and Smith, and just said, okay, my punt is going to be Andrews. So I think that's the question I have, Mike, is do you have Kinshawn Judkins, Bucky, Monty kind of in this Flowers, Wilson, Burden, Waddle tier?
Yeah. I probably in your position in most of the time I'm not going Loveland and Warren, to be quite honest. I don't feel comfortable with it. It's not my cup of tea. I prefer going late tight end, going with the Likeleys of the world or the Stranges or even with Kelsey at this point going at the 11-2. I like that range of tight end because it gets to a point where if anything I'm streaming and I'm fine. But even if they hit, I am happy because then I didn't, waste a pick. In the 504, I would prefer Judkins for you at that spot. And then it makes it where or Monty, whoever you feel more comfortable with.
Yeah, I'd take Monty for the touchdown upside.
Yeah, I love Monty here. So I mean Monty would have been better for you here. So I like that particular spot right there. And then just waiting. And then you could have gotten Likely at Algier, roughly, is my guess. I wanted to cause chaos. So could he have made it to you at Higgins?
Yeah, but
Probably.
Andrews was there if I really needed someone too. So
and there was the other
if you
option.
took Likely. So yeah,
Exactly.
I mean it's just interesting because I guess the things that I'm still workshopping is the combination ceiling of a Cook Hampton, is the combination ceiling of a CMC Chase Brown, is that higher than a Loveland DeAndre Swift ceiling? Because that's essentially what you're talking about, is you maybe don't consider taking those players in that range if you start RB because like I said, that wide receiver value is there to get a really good wide receiver, and it is a 3 wide receiver league, so I'd need that third guy as a starter. Yes, I understand Loveland could outscore that player, but at that point it's like you're stuck with DeAndre Swift. You're stuck with what if Monty's not there? I mean, it's interesting. I still think I feel in this team more comfortable starting with 2 running backs and just not having to worry about it until, the 8th, 9th round. But
I get it.
that's just, I mean, like if you can come out of this draft, you'd have to do it early. But if you really punt the RB2 and you can come out with this pocket of Kyle Monangai, Kenny Gainwell, Tyler Algier, Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks, I think those are 5 risers at the running back position over the next month, or the next 2 weeks.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I like my build a little bit, a little bit better. I feel more comfortable in it in this particular, especially at this pick. I felt much more comfortable where I was, and I like where I draft at, around the 8th or, near the turn. And honestly, I love the combination of having 4 real top tier running backs. The only reason why I like it is because of how shallow running back can be. And it gets to a point where a lot of these guys will outscore a lot of the mid tier wide receivers, and especially in half. But all these guys are pass catchers in one way or another. They all are involved in the run game. They're either the top, they're either in a decent timeshare or they're the bell cow of their team. Cook, Williams are both bell cows for their teams. Monty is probably going to have the majority of carries. Hampton, we can argue until about what we talked about before with the running back by committee. But even if he is a running back by committee, I'm still happy with his production on a really good high powered offense, because I think that offense is going to be insane. So I love having that first 5 group. The Warren pick, to be quite honest, I could have probably have waited, and I could have waited and gotten guys like Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, even DJ Moore, I would have been happy with. And then having Marvin Harrison Jr. as my wide receiver 3, I think I would have feel a little bit more comfortable with that than I would in most scenarios. But do I hate having Warren at the 6? No, I do not. I think that my team is still fine either way. But this is a team that I like drafting, and it's a pretty solid group of guys that I like. And then it leaves me a lot of room at the bottom where I get these guys that are, like Chris Godwin, Downs, Coker, and Boston. All those guys have incredible upside and decent floors. So it just makes me feel a lot more comfortable having a really solid foundation of running backs. And even if, let's just say, by week 3 or 4, I don't have one of those guys available because of whatever reason, I still have 3. And that's better than most of the guys in the league. I like cornering the market on running back because of how much of how the expiration date for those particular running backs can be. And if I have 4 of the top 12 or whatever you want to call, or whatever you think they might be, I'm in a good spot. So
yeah. I mean, I like your team. I think I've been talking through and workshopping this double RB, RB start. And even if you take Javonte there, then you take Olave. See, like you said you wanted to cause chaos and take Monty.
Yeah,
I would still like that Cook, Hampton,
I'm still
Javonte
happy.
start with Burden and Jameson Williams with Chris Olave instead of Monty. And then if Warren comes back around, great. If he doesn't, then you can, figure out what you want to do with one of those receivers. You might end up getting both. Because I'm like you. I like Harrison actually in my flex, I'll be honest. Wide receiver 3, even for that, is a little. I'm not certain.
100%. Like I'm not.
I wouldn't have taken Godwin. I would have just taken Corum there if you needed an extra running back over, right? So like take Luther Burden or Jameson Williams over Monty, and then take Blake Corum, Kenny Gainwell, one of those guys over Chris Godwin. But yeah, I mean it's a good build. I think it's an interesting build. I want to look at Team 5 real quick because they also started really heavy with 4 RBs.
There we go.
JT, Saquon, Josh Allen, then
it's not letting me
then
select
Irving.
it because it wasn't.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. No big deal. That's really hard for me there. I think if you're starting with 2 RBs and you're taking Josh Allen in the 3rd, I think that's okay.
Yeah, but I can't go Scattaboo Irvin.
No, I mean not with Devonta Smith, Lad McConkey, Eric Wilson, and Emeka Egbuka on the board. So that was a hard pick for me. Yeah, I mean, I think that we got to keep workshopping it because I think let's look at Team 7, Mike. Team 6 and Team 7, similar first early builds.
Yeah.
So they both started our wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Team 6, Jeremiah Love, Judkins, Bashal, Tootin, Harvey, Corum. That's thin.
Yeah.
Tedero, McMillan, Jaden Reed, Mark Andrews late, but Sam Laporta early. See, I don't understand I mean, I know it's a computer, but
it's going off ADP.
I can't get on board with Laporta in the 7th. That's just not. It's the dead zone. It's just the dead zone. Not when you can get Andrews or likely 6 rounds, 6 rounds later, man.
He would probably be 8th, 9th round in most like real drafts. Like I don't see people like passing up guys like what we were talking about with Marvin Harrison Jr., Watson, BTJ, especially with the teams that are here. In
your home leagues and your casual leagues, though, people are going to do it because it's name value.
100%.
Team 7, Puka and JJ, good start. Josh Jacobs, Brees Hall. Okay, there's still upside there. Jalen Waddle, Terry McLaurin. So his third running back is Chuba, who's injured. But again, RJ Harvey, Jalen Warren, Kyle Monangai, all on the board. So you would have taken those guys over Chuba.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft and Henry Henry at the tight end position. Jackson Dart in the 9th. Alec Pierce, Wandale. So, I mean, it's just, I think if you're in that 8 to 12 spot, I think you almost have to start with 2 running backs. If you're in 4 to 7, I think you have a lot more decisions to make. Or sorry, 5 through 8. I think you have a lot, 5, 6, and 7. I think you have a lot more decisions to make. The 104 for me is where the draft starts, and then the first 3, it's like, if you start with Bijan and Gibbs, do you want to? Because you know you're going to. Do you start with another wide receiver? You basically have to take a receiver, I think.
Yeah.
And if you start with Jamar Chase, I think you have to take a running back. So you're starting 1 and 1.
That makes sense.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season, ladies and gentlemen. It really will be.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I mean, a lot. The other thing is a lot's going to change.
Agreed.
I mean, we've already got guys starting. I mean, Jeremiah Love's got a high ankle sprain. We've got James Pierce Jr. just gets suspended. The Falcons are already trending down. Man, what a disaster that's turning out to be. Get Bijan and get the F out.
That's all you're going to be able to afford at this point.
I'm going to be honest, man. If Drake London is on the board and some of these running backs are on the board,
it's hard.
If it's full PPR, it's hard. If it's half, probably the running back.
I wouldn't mind Brian Robinson Jr. though.
Who does he play for? Oh, Atlanta. Oh, B. Robinson. Oh God, I forgot about that.
I wouldn't mind him though. I think he's a solid option. I mean,
it's like Pacheco.
Yeah, well, but still, he's somebody that I have no problem grabbing because, God forbid anything happens, you have the number 2 running back. There's no one else behind that.
Yeah.
And he does have the ability to play like Algier in a way. I like what I see from him in general, and I think he can do well. He's a good size back too. He's 6'1", 225. I mean, he has a good build. He's quick. He has a good burst. I think he can be a really good. I think he's going to spell Bijan real well, and I think they're going to complement each other.
Yeah.
So I like him a lot if you have the ability to get him. He's the only other Falcon that I'm really okay with.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons are the Falcons. There's not a team I'm really, unless it's Bijan, I'm just not really in on them. I don't very Pitts is interesting, but
yeah, I like Pitts for the value, but I don't like him otherwise.
I just think there's just a huge dead zone right in the 7th and 8th round when
especially for tight end, yeah.
And like the other thing is you don't need to build your roster right away. I think people do that. They build their starting lineup and then they start to look at the bench, and that's especially in leagues where kickers and defenses are involved. That's a free pick if somebody does that. Hopefully you're close to that person because that's a freebie square for you.
Oh, 100%. Like we do defensive team and defensive player for our for starting roster spots, and usually most teams in the league tend to skip out on those last 2 rounds of those particular choices. Unless you're getting the Houston Texans, you're pretty much you should just be out and just not go for it. But if you're in the 15th, 16th round and the Texans are still on the board, okay, cool. Grab it and do your thing. But then it's trying to figure out the defensive player that you're going to want for, and to be fair, there's only 10. So you can pretty much interchange it all day long. So it doesn't really matter who you pick. Yeah. And unless you're getting a guy that's worth it. And already, I mean, if you want to go Travis Hunter, you can, because Travis Hunter in this type of league is a little bit more valuable than a guy that's not, just because defensive player, you can, you're having a wide receiver in that position. Okay, cool. Like, or, not if he doesn't play wide receiver, you don't get anything, but at least you can use that if you really want to. And that's the only value that you have for that pick. So other than that, it's pretty much, you use it on the last round if you want to. Not a lot of I can't remember a time a defensive player actually outscored any of the like wide receiver 2, 3s, or even bench that are out there.
You know what I like to do? I like to grab 2 guys that are on how many other roster spots I have IR for. As I grab those guys and I don't draft a kicker and a defense and I just stream it. I'm going to stream it anyway. So I just grab. Like I grab Alec Pearson, like knowing that I'll just put him on. I'm assuming he's still on the pup. We'll see what it looks like. But
well, and that's a smart move. And a lot of guys in our league know those particular rules. It's just, do they go through it? Maybe, but it's so hard to tell sometimes. But at the end of the day, you'll have groups that, you'll have guys that go for like Roquan Smith in the 12th round, or you'll go with guys that go with
Micah Parsons,
Houston sometimes because he's not even active yet. So like, they'll go with the Parsons, or they'll go with, guys that are just, at the top end of the IDP conversation. I can't say his name. The guy from the Browns is one of those guys. It's such a long name. Swazier, some bullshit. I can't say.
If it's like, unless it's like big defensive players, I don't play in leagues like that. You know that.
Roquan,
Smith,
Fred Warner, the kid from the Browns, and Jordan Brooks. Those are probably the only 4 guys that you're gonna ever want in your IDP league. And at the same time, or you can go with the safeties and go with Derwin James. Now with Caleb Downs coming out, like all these guys are going to be available. It's going to be a fun situation in our league, but it opens it up where 10 guys out of however many. So it's like, it doesn't matter who you pick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, dude. Well, good draft, good workshop. Appreciate it. It was short notice, but I mean, it was great to jump in. We had a couple people asking some questions, so that was helpful. But yeah, man. All right, I'm gonna let's wrap it.
All right, boys.
All right.
Thank you all for